Hello everyone. From the last 3 videos, we are talking about theoretical aspect of motivation, right? And as I have told previously that there are 5 theories explaining the employee motivation. The first of which was Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? That we have already talked about. Now comes the turn of second theory, which is Herzberg two-factor theory. So we are going to talk about it today. Well, Frederick Herzberg, he basically tried to explain the employee motivation on the basis of 2 factors, right? That is why it is called two-factor theory. Now, what are these 2 factors? He tried to explain that there are basically motivators and hygiene factors on the basis of which you can retain your employees. Well, Herzberg has explained these 2 factors with the help of 2 arrows, one in the upward direction and one in the downwards direction. So first of all, the upward arrow, it basically tries to show those motivators that actually pushes your employee into performing better. And the downward arrow basically tries to show that in the absence of these factors, your employees may get dissatisfied. Now, before going forward, first understand that why are these arrows are taken upwards and why the hygiene factor arrow is taken downwards. Just imagine a line, right? A line of neutralness. So if a person is your employee, it means that he has some kind of satisfaction or some kind of motivation to stay in your organization, right? So this line is of neutralness, of that employee's satisfaction and motivation. Now, with the help of motivators, you can enhance the motivation of your employees, right? But in the absence of these motivators, your employee will not get demotivated. If there are not these motivators, the motivation of your employees comes to the neutral state. But in the absence of your hygiene factors, if the hygiene factors are missing from your organization, it may bring dissatisfaction. That is why these arrows are shown in a upward and a downward direction. Now moving forward, let's understand what are the motivators. So motivators are also called satisfactors. It drives your employees to perform better. Let's say you recognize their work, right? They have performed so well in a month. Now at the end of the month, you review their work and you actually recognize that they have performed so much well. So you say in the form of a reward or maybe in the form of an award, you try to show that appreciation, right? That we appreciate your work. So for the upcoming month, for the next month, they basically try to perform much better. That, oh my God, I did so much well in the last month. Now I will do much better to get more rewards. The second is achievement. From time to time, if they have achieved a level of knowledge, you promote them to a next level. So basically they are achieving certain positions in your organization. So their achievement acts as a motivator. The next is responsibility. You handle them, you trust them with their decision making. You handle them some sense of accountability, right? That I am handing over you this work. Now you will be the one who is accountable for this work. You have to make decision making here, right? And I trust you with those decision makings. You are at least giving them some opportunities. You are providing them growth. So these motivators, they basically are driving, are pushing your employees into performing better. Now these motivators are intrinsic factors, right? But the hygiene factors, they are the extrinsic factors, such as the environment, the working conditions, the fair salaries, right? The policies of the organization, and so and so. So the hygiene factors, it basically gives a sense of satisfaction in your employees, right? It does not motivate them to work better, but it is there to provide them a sense of satisfaction so that they work happily. Now let's go over an example and try to understand this whole theory with an example. Let's say there is an employee named Rahul, right? And he is working as a marketing executive at a corporation. Now taking the case 1 where hygiene factors are available but motivators are not, right? So in the case first, Rahul is getting good income, right? The layoffs are rare, so he feels secured. Office is clean and is well equipped. His manager is fair with him and he helps him whenever needed. And there are clear and transparent HR policies, right? So what are all these? They are all hygiene factors. They bring satisfaction into your employee. But the motivators, they are all absent. He's not getting any recognition for his work. He's not getting any training or development programs to improve his knowledge from time to time, right? Which is a necessity for a human being. So what will happen in this case? Because of the hygiene factors are available, he will not feel dissatisfied, right? So he will not complain about the job. But in the absence of the motivators, he feels bored, right? He feels unmotivated. He does not feel to go that extra mile to do something productive, right? He is just being there, performing his job and nothing else. But that will not retain your employee in the long term, right? He will slowly start finding a new job that provides him motivation. Now let's talk about the case 2 where hygiene factors are absent but your motivators are available. So Rahul's efforts go noticed. He is assigned routine tasks and most importantly, he is trusted with decision making. And he is also provided with training and development programs to develop his knowledge, to develop his skills. But in this case, hygiene factors are not available. he's not getting fair salary, HR policies are not transparent, environment is not very much clean and well equipped. So what will happen in this case? Despite of the fact that the motivators are available and he loves his job because of this, he will soon start feeling stressed, undervalued and frustrated. So no matter that he is motivated, but because of job dissatisfaction, he will consider for a better paying opportunity and an institution which is more stable. So throughout this theory, what we have all learned, what Herzberg has tried to say, that to make your employee a long-term employee, you have to ensure that both of these factors should be met, and the absence of any one of these will lead to your employee leaving your organization. You have to ensure that you provide those motivators and the hygiene factors to your employees, right? Only in that case you can witness employee retention. So that is all for today, and if you have any query regarding this or the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you can just comment down and let me know.